Welcome back, everybody. Excuse the throat. Got a bit of a sore throat, but anyway. Moving on, this is part 1 in this coaxial build project. And from the intro, those that have watched the intro, those that haven't, please go and have a look at the intro of this intro video. We're going to build up a Open Baffle coaxial speaker. Now, it transpires, or I knew anyway, that the Eminence 12CX beta coaxial driver and its accompanying compression driver have issues, in as much that they don't work well together. You can buy a passive crossover that Eminence do, but there are still issues. So this whole thing is going to be run off of DSP, digital sound processing, to manipulate, if you like, or equalize the deficiencies of the high compression unit, or the tweeter. So there is the plan, which you would have seen on the intro. And what I've done, I've gone away and I've actually made it. It's made out of 19mm ply, 1893 or 3/4 inch ply. Cheap, cheerful. It's what I had leaning on the garage wall. And I've just routed a couple of holes, exactly as per that drawing you've just seen. Marked out some fixings. I made a mistake here. I'm not a wood whittler by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm learning pretty fast. It's the first time I've been involved in routing. But you'll see all the edges have all been beveled off all the way around. And I've also put a 5mm deep, 5mm wide slot all the way around there, and that will become apparent at a later date. So what I'm going to do, not going to bore you too much, is I'll put this together dry initially. We're now going to put it together again just for the purposes of the video. So it's just about lining everything up. I use these fast. I think they're plasterboard screws actually, but they do the job very well. So I'm just going to line that up. I'll do a few and then I won't bore you and I'll go and build it up. So, and this is on a I've got this on a ratchet so I can't overdrive it. There you go. I know it's on my bench, but instead of the now, as this is just a prototype, I'm not gluing it. If it works, as I said, there's issues with the coaxial element, the 12-inch. But if it works, if I can get it to work, I will build it up out of something nicer. I would probably do this in 24mm birch ply or something like that. Make it look nice. So thanks to all the new subscribers. Thanks for all your comments. Now if you'd like to give me a thumbs up, I much appreciated that, and subscribe if you're just first time looking in. And if you find what I'm doing of any benefit or entertainment, I now link to buy me a cup of coffee below in my introduction. So if you'd like to buy me a cup of coffee, whatever it is, $1, $5, £1, £5, it would help me a great deal in sustaining these projects. I've got loads of other projects coming up, but to fund them is quite excessive financially, but if you would, I much appreciate it, and you'd get a shout out obviously in the next video. So if you like to do that, thanks a lot. So that's the baffle board. I also have cobbled together a bit of a foot. Again, very cheap, cheerful. This is all recycled material. I'm not going to spend a lot of money in case it's not going to be worth it in the end. And I've got some bracketry for the banana plug speaker cables. So we've got a tweeter, a mid and a bass. And that will go something like that. Along those lines. Oops. This is a difficult bit, isn't it? Because I don't know where my hole is now. So it's not there, definitely. Just about there. As always, I'm hurrying too much really, just to try and get the video length down. So there we have it. One open baffle with a stand. Quick, dirty, but I think it's going to work. So now I'm just going to screw in some drive units. Let's do the big one first. Nice Eminence 15-inch beta, or 15A. This is, sorry. This is a beta 15A. So I pre-lined it up, and the way I do it, I would place this on there, and I would just feel that the inside lip here is aligned with the diameter of this hole cut out here. A little bit of jiggery pokery, and that's about it. Spot on there. So again, I've got the clutch on here is on, but won't overdrive it. Just initially, just nip these up. Don't have to go mad. Now there's a lot of people that say this coaxial drive unit is not suitable for hi-fi. Other people say they're brilliant. Who knows? I really material. And hide that nasty looking 12-inch coaxial unit. Trouble is, this is very saggy, isn't it? That's no good. You don't want it like that. So what we're going to do, and it's very difficult to hold this, and what I'm going to use is a length of, it's a tubing, rubber tubing, or PTFE, I think it might be. It's 5.5 millimeters in diameter. And what we're going to do is go round and force it into situ like that. But first of all, you've got to get this tight. And what we're going to do first, let's make sure we have our rubber ring of correct length, and it's better to have this a little bit warm than cold this morning. It's only 16 degrees in here, but I'll get me scissors. And I'll have to thank a few people. I want to thank Matthew Ricketts for his perfect first time. How did I do that? Unbelievable. For his cup of coffee, thank you, Matthew. And I'd also like to thank Craig Hill for his cup of coffee. He buys me quite a few cups of coffee, Craig Hill. Thank you very much, and thank you very much for your help and inspiration over this period. It's you wonder if you're wasting your time doing this, but apparently not. We're doing quite well, or so he keeps telling me. Excuse me again, my throat's terrible. Recovering from a head cold. So how do we hold this grill material before we nip it into place? Well, the easiest way is with adhesive spray, but you don't spray it, obviously. We need to put a little bead or a little amount around there. So first of all, you spray a bit of in there. You get a little brush and you just brush around the edge, just like that. It'll be quite quick because it goes off very quickly. I suppose if there was two of you, you wouldn't need to do this because you have one holding, putting tension on the grill cloth, and another pushing in the O-ring, in effect, to hold it in place. But again, I'm being very quick here. This is probably being too quick, but just to give you the idea. So then we get our grill cloth. It only takes a few seconds for that adhesive to go off. So now we're just going to pull this tight and just take all the wrinkles out, get it tight all the way around, just like that. Not too tight, don't overstretch it, just make it taut, just like that. There we go. Lovely. So now you get another pair of scissors and you go around and you just cut out. You don't have to be overly accurate because the O-ring in effect will hide all this. Just neatly go around like that, and I'll come back when I've done that. So I've just been round with my scissors, just trimmed off all the excess round there, and I'm now going to start at the bottom with my bit of hose, if you like, and just feed it in. You've got to try and just, as you can see, I'm forcing the grill cloth under this bit of tubing all the way round. Now you might overstretch this now, it might need re-trimming. I hope I've got the right length, and if you wanted, oh, that's very near perfect. So there you end up with a very neat dare I say it, semi-professional finish, and I'm not a finisher. You can also use this. This is 5mm elastic band from a BBS supplier. BBS are catapults and that type of thing. They use it in their catapults. Comes in various colours, and this also can be used in exactly the same manner. So you could fill up. You could have a red, green, yellow, whatever colour you like as a surround to that. So for now, I'm going to call that we've built this up. Obviously you could finish this, you could paint it. You don't have to drill them through like I have done here, straight to these upright supports. You could have a bit of bracketry so you didn't see this, or you can fill this, sand it, paint it. You can do anything you like with it. That's entirely up to you. Your foot again is a different, you can use anything you like for a foot. But that's just my way of doing it thus far. In the next part of the video, we'll move on to sound test, measurements, equalization, and see if I can actually get this thing to sound any good. So that'll be in the next section. I'll be back soon. So I'd just like to do some measurements. This thing's all wired up for a bitty DSP. We got 6 monoblock amplifiers, NTC 300s. We got my PC is there. Got my mic, Ubik 1 meter away from the speaker. And I've been doing some measurements. I've been trying all sorts of tweeters with this. We'll go past that in a minute. And we've got this historic 12k suck out here, which we can do nothing about, but I'm just going to run through. This is what I've ended up. It's within less than 5 dB either way. I can't get rid of that. I can't get rid of that. This is an artifact of the Coaxial, but I'll do some sweeps and we'll go back to 0. I'm just holding this by hand. So I'm just going to 0 everything off, so that we're playing on get out. We go to Q1 and we'll 0 that off. We'll just go here. All of that's on 0. You can see some gain structure I've put on here to make it level, but I'm going to go back to 0 to show you what's not. So just bear with me, I'm holding this by hand. So we've got no gain structure. A crossover I've been playing with. This is the 15-inch, and I'm coming on at 20 very steeply, or I can bypass it. It doesn't seem to make any difference, and my cross is 250. I'm rolling this 15-inch off at 250. The crossover for the 12-inch full range, as they call it, the Coaxial, is coming on just flat straight in, and it rolls off at 1500. They do advise with this Coaxial, if you can get it down about 1000, I haven't tried it yet, but that's pushing the limits of this compression driver. Get to 1000, you get some better results because you get less beaming. One of the problems with the Coaxial, you get this beaming problem where it's just focused in one direction, you don't get any lateral. But anyway, we're going to do some measurements. And we get that, and I normally go to about 1/3, something like that, and they give you a representation there. So then we move swiftly on. I'm doing this very quickly. We're going to mute the bass, and we're going to go the full range, the 12 inch, start measuring. So we've got that. We're going to go straight on, mute the 12 inch, and now we're going to do the tweeter. So those are the 3 sweeps. Let me just tidy these up, just so you get a better representation. And it's all over the place. No good whatsoever. Huge hump here on the 12 inch. And this 15 inch is nowhere near where it should be. To get a level response, we're looking for a best flat line that you can get. And then here is the 12K suck out there. I mean, it's 10 dB, 12 dB. There's mechanical things you can do. You can cut the cone off, the dust cap, and then cut the cone that's on the inside. I'm not proposing to do that. What I'm proposing to do is make this listenable. So now we're going to do a sweep of all 3 turned on, everything 0, do a measure and see what the summed response is of the whole lot. Go to 1/3. And you can see there's lots of stuff here. What we've got is 10 dB either way. So what I propose to do, let me do another sweep of the bass on its own. Nowhere near enough gain on that, but you can see the bass is miles out really, but it's rolling off at around about the 300, 250, 300. You can see that. You can actually see this crossover point here, and we've got this crossover point is at 1500. So if we go to 1500, around about 1500, you can see the little hump there, but there's something going on here. So the summed response, not very impressive, is it? So first of all, what I'm going to go and do is lift this. So I'm just using the gain structure. I'm going to give that 5 dB. So all I'm doing, I'm just lifting that 5 dB. And that's this green line. So now we see 15 inch up to about 500. But I'll leave it where it is. It's looking quite flat in it there. Let's try and get rid of this big hump here, which is at 620 hertz. This here, 620 hertz. I'm going to try and pull that down at 620 hertz. So we go in here, PEQ. I want to go 620. I don't know whether it will or not. 620. We want a peak, or we can go low shelf, I think, or high shelf. Let's see. That's a shelf. So we want a peak. We just want a peak. So we want to drag that down. I've given it 5 dB. Might need a bit more than that, and I might make it a bit more aggressive, a bit like that. And this is all down to your interpretation and your learning curve, if you like, on how to do this. We'll just see if this thing actually comes down. Doesn't look like it, does it? Not at all. So what I'm going to do now, go back here. Oops, wrong one. What we're going to do is cancel all that, zero it, zero that. So we're back to square one. It's worth taking notes as you go along. I've got sheets and sheets of paper on measurements I've done and collected for different types. All I'm going to do is invert this and see what happens. So I've inverted this so it's driving backwards in effect. Let's see what that happens. What happens now. Horrendous. Just to give you an idea, we got a huge suck out here, so that didn't work, and it's all a matter of trial and error. So let's get rid of a few of these. The orange one, we don't want that, do we? That last one, we don't want that. Green one, not worried about that. I'm not worried about that. And I'm not worried about that. What I'm worried about is the total sum across here. The purple one, don't even want that really. So I'm going to push this up a bit to try and drive this whole 80 dB. I'm going to go up to 4 dB, so that's the bottom end, or I can bring this one down. So what I'm going to do, do you see what I'm saying? I can bring this down, bring the volume of this down to try and match the volume or the SPL of the 15-inch driver. So I'm going to bring this volume down across here, so that's the mid-range. So I'm going to give this -3, and we're now going to do another measure, see how we get on. Ideally you want to be within 2 or 3 dB across the whole spectrum. And that's very, very difficult to achieve. To get that. See, there's this huge hump here. So let me just have a play. I'm going to invert that and have another measure. I'm now inverting this 12-inch to see if I can drive that back up. I'm no expert at this. Ah, see, so now that's reduced that. Now I've got to, right, let's get rid of these. We don't need these now, otherwise you get swamped. So now I've got to give this a bit of a push. So we're getting somewhere near it. This is each one of these divisions is 5 dB, so we're 2 dB, 2.5 dB. We're nearly there as a rough and ready. Is it listenable? I'm going to go and give this a push at 100 Hertz. So I've inverted that PEQ. I'm going to go at 100 Hertz. I'm hoping you can see this. We want to peak. Yeah, we want to peak. So we're going to go and 10 dB. So I've already given it 5 dB, so it's pointless me giving it some more gain at 5 dB because it would just null each other out. So I've gone 10 dB. So we're going to have a measure and see if that actually does anything. Oh, too much. Possibly. Yes, look at that. So I want to be somewhere in between, so I've just got to, it's all a matter of trial and error. So let's come back to 6. Let's try that. Now, let's get rid of that purple one. That's too much. That one's too little. Wow. I'm gonna go and this is how it's done. You're swapping backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. I shouldn't have done. I've got to close mini DSP down. I have to restart that. Connect. It saves everything you've just done. Outputs. So I've got -3. I'm going to come back to -1 on the gain structure here. So this will push this up a bit to match this. So we'll have another measure. A little bit better. But as you saw earlier, this 600 hump here, I can't get rid of. There's one here at 1000. Let's get rid of that purple one. I'm going to give this the high frequency. I'm doing this very, very quickly. I do apologise, but I'm just going to give the tweeter a 3 dB lift, just to lift this end here. This is very basic. And you can see that's looking even better. So let's get rid of that one. So overall, I'm going to see if I can get rid of that. It's 4. No, I know I can't get rid of it. It's an artifact of this coaxial 1000. I'm going to give this another little punt at the end here, a little push. So PQ 100 FI up there like that. Yeah, I just want to get this end up here. Now, the reason I'm doing it this way, why am I doing it this long-winded way? Long-winded way, as opposed to just using, that's even better, look, I like that a lot. The EQ here is you can do it, you can let the machine do the work. So we're now within about 2 dB either way, apart from this here, which is 7 dB. 5, 6, well, it's about 5 dB, just yeah, about 7 dB. There's nothing I can do at this 12K. It is an artifact of what, in fact, the Coaxial, the Eminence Coaxial driver and the compression driver, as I say, you've got to do all sorts of things. Now, why didn't I use this? And I'll tell you why. In this instant, to get this here, to get this equalization software to push this up 10 dB or to pull this down 10 or 15 dB, it hits the noise floor of the mini disc software, the power supply in effect, and you end up with spurious results, lots of hissing. This is unbearable. There's a slight bit of hissing now, but it's almost unbearable. But you can see just by eye, just playing around with it, you can get pretty close within 3 dB thereabouts, apart from that. Now I have on my bench in front of me, I'm down in my listening room, I've got all sorts of other stuff that I've been trying instead of the compression driver. I've tried this was a no hope. I'm going to do additional videos covering these. So replacing the compression driver in this Coaxial, I've been using other drivers. This is a full range driver. It works very well as a tweeter. So this is the Pulvia 7. There we go. This is the Monocore. Sorry, the lighting's bad. This is the Monocore DT300. Falls off a cliff. And I've also used this Alpair 7A. And I've also used, bear with me a second, I made up some bracketry. And this was very nice. I think mainly because this has a paper cone, and this is the Alpair 6P paper full range driver. They do not do this anymore, but you can see I've made up a little bracket which I could screw to the top of the open baffles, and this was replacing the compression driver. So I've been playing about, and I'm going to do a follow-up video, but for now I think I need to thank everybody again, and if you'd like to buy me a cup of coffee, there's a link below in this one. The equipment used is I've used in this is a Cord Cutest set to 768 bits. I've got Nelson Pass YouTube preamp, 4 Avondale NCC 300 Voyager amplifiers, and I've been swapping between the UCD 400 Hypex D-Class amp and the Avondale NCC 300s on the bottom end on the 15 inch, just to see. That's a work in progress, but for these measurements it's working okay. So for now, thanks for watching, thanks for all those new subscribers. I hope this has been of some interest. As I say, this isn't the last one in this series. I am going to go on and move to using different tweeters with this Coaxial 12-inch driver. In actual fact, the 15 and the 12-inch drivers are actually a complete mismatch, but in actual fact they're not too bad at all, and I'm trying to get the crossover down so that the 12-inch doesn't beam too much. It's very pleasant to listen to. My next port of call will be, excuse me, I'll just show you quickly what I'm working on. So we're going to walk about on the camera now. I also have this, which will be attached to the top here, and I'm going to move the coaxial from its location there to its location here, and we're going to do another video. So that's it for now. Again, thanks to everybody. Keep well, keep smiling. It's all a bit of fun, and enjoy the music. Whatever music you're listening to on your hi-fi, enjoy your music. Speak to you soon. Bye.